remove your blockage. Alright, look here, time back and vote for Labour. They make I get the vibes right again now. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, help me make welcome Prime Minister of Jamaica.
This constituency will always receive me and treat me. Maybe it is because I have roots in this constituency. Someone who received an award when she was receiving her certificate, she said, Prime Minister, you know that your grandmother taught me at Austin Primary School. Yes. Yes. My grandparents are from the area. And I still have family in this area. So this is a place that is special to me. And I have a special place in my heart for this area. The South of St. Elizabeth is noted for its agriculture, but not just for planting. This area is known for resilient agriculture. You are known for being productive in the harshest climate. You are known to be productive even in the difficult times. But you are also known to be enterprising. The notion of the successful farmer who plants, reaps, sells, saves, use some to build a nice house, send their children to school, and keep that positive cycle going. That is the definition, the characteristic, the profile of the farmer from South. In essence, you are hardworking, industrious, independent people. And that is the philosophy of the Jamaica Labour Party. If you ask yourself, who Who is a laborer? What does it mean to be a laborer? Then everyone here will tell you, because that's what you do every day. Laborer means in working for your own. It is whether or not the rain or fall or the dust up, whether or not you have good prices or no prices. We don't go that blame other people. We take responsibility for ourselves. We use that system why there is a natural alignment between the people of South and the Labour Party. Because from a philosophical point of view, what you believe in is what the Labour Party believes in. We are also the peace-loving people. And more as I visit the parish of St. Elizabeth and I speak with the officers in charge, I am getting good reports. Crime is going down. That used to plague the people, they have been seriously undermined. In fact, I would say decapitated. Anybody who is industrious, anybody who works hard, not like criminals. Because the goal of the criminal is therefore to take from you what you work hard to produce. So everyone here is very happy that the crime and violence is going on. Who is responsible for that? Who is ensuring that your communities are safe? Who is ensuring that lives are spared and preserved? It is your government. It is the government. So, there are three things that your government and your political party is focusing on. And these three things align very well with your value system. The first, as I said before, is productivity. The people of South are very productive people. The other is peace. And the people of South St. Elizabeth are very peaceful people. And the third is prosperity. So, prosperity might be to sell a couple tons of melon, several hundred pounds of scallion, and buy that pickup truck. That's prosperity. For some, it's to the same scale and build up that nice little house. Every year you add on a room or two. Prosperity is to see your child go to university and graduate. That is prosperity. Now, anyone who has the prosperity mindset knows that they're not going to get prosperity for free. Nobody's going to come and hand it to you. And you know that prosperity is not today and then tomorrow is disaster. No. Prosperity is a constant journey. Doing better. Making some sacrifice today, putting aside so that you can earn tomorrow. And when you put the three things together, productivity and peace, you will get prosperity. And if you put those three together, you're going to create what is called the virtuous cycle. More peace makes you more productive, and the more productive you are, the more prosperous you are, and the more prosperous you are, the more peaceful you are. And the more peaceful you are, the more productive you are, and the more productive you are, the more prosperous you are. And that, my friends and family, is what the Jamaica Labour Party is about. And that is what we have set out to achieve. And that is what we have been achieving. And I would not stand here in all good conscience and try to get your votes and your support if I did not believe in myself that we have executed very well the authority that you have entrusted to me and the government to create the productive and peaceful and prosperous environment that we all want. The Jamaica Labour Party has done well. The Jamaica Labour Party has done better than the CNC could ever do. The workers and supporters, and I say to you, there is still much more to be done. There is still a journey that we must continue, and I am fit, and I am ready. of Jamaica. There are things that frustrate you, that get you upset. Even if you are a supporter of the government, every pothole that you jump into, get your vexed. When you have to stand at the bus stop, long and can't get bus, you're upset. When you go to the tax office or you have to travel far to the tax office and you line down and you fall and you answer up the phone, you get upset. Yes. So I know that there are things that affect you. When you don't have the street lights on your road, when you can't get water in your pipe. But I will say this to you, that we so I will say to you that we are very aware of the issues that affect you. We are never complacent and believe that you have no option. And therefore, we are always working very hard to deliver for you. Because we respect you. Because we love you. And because we care about you and we care about our country. So we are working. Very hard. So you will hear people complain. No doubt. Because there will always be something to complain about. People will complain. But when you ask people which political party works the hardest for Jamaica, puts out the most effort for Jamaica, gets the most results for Jamaica, deterred by the complaints of the people. There was a saying that emerged in a political contest. And in that contest, there were two persons vying for a political office. And only one of the persons in the race was getting criticism. And when asked, why are you getting so much criticism? The response was, people just stole flux in and when you're working hard, when you're having results, yes, when people have expectations, who you think they bring their complaints to? Who you think they bring their dreams and hopes and aspirations and places and to see? Yes, because they know that this is the party that can bring their dreams to reality. as they should be. People should raise their concerns in a democracy. And they are able to do so because they have a political party that they know can deliver. And they hold this expectation because they have seen changes in the society. Now, I want to stay with you for another 10 minutes if you're allowed. Not to take out any time after 10 minutes with the Google. Alright? I want to make some points to you that I want you to put it in your brain. And I want you to digest it and let it go to your heart. Now, we have been in government 9 years. Almost going 10 years. There are some youngsters who may be 18, 20. And so, while they were growing up, they may have heard the news, they may have heard their parents complain, but they didn't really internalize. So they really can't judge between these last almost 10 years and the previous 10 years. So I'm going to speak in such a way as to assist those persons with the comparison. But most of you who are older would be able, on reflection, to draw the comparison. Now, in the last 10 years, your government has been able to present a budget to the country without asking you, the taxpayer, to go into your pocket and take out any more taxes to fund the budget. In other words, we have been able to present 10 budgets with no new taxes. That is the longest period that any government of Jamaica has gone without imposing taxes on the people. So if you are trying to compare governments to government, this would be a fundamental point on which you would compare governments. How they are able to run the economy without taking money out of your pocket. No other government has been able to do it. So Jamaica is fundamentally different under the Jamaica Labour Party of the last 10 years than it was in previous decades. No argument about that one. Now, all of you inside here, when you go to the supermarket and this week you go and the price is X, and then next week you go, the price is X plus 10. You vex. And you say, cost of living, inflation. Now, what if things affect inflation? As farmers, some of you will know that if you have a drought, what happens to the price of the crops? They go up. And if you get nice weather and you produce a whole heap, what happens to the price? It drops. Government don't have nothing to do with that. But if government run the economy badly, in such a way that it allows a whole heap of money in the economy, or it prints money to pay debt, then you will have high inflation. Because now you have more money with less goods, so what happens? The price of every good increase. And that is what used to happen because of bad government policies in the past. We used to have very high inflation. So if you think inflation was bad now, particularly during the COVID period, right? If you were to compare this 10 year of inflation relative to the previous 10 years and other decades, this administration has the lowest inflation in the history of Jamaica. This administration, static report last month, zero inflation in Jamaica. Inflation is the loss of your purchasing power. The higher inflation, the less purchasing power you have. And this is the administration that has been best in preserving your purchasing power. So when you compare the government and inflation, which is another major profile of the government, this government is the best government that the country has ever had. Now, I want to talk a little bit about foreign exchange rate. Because all of us here want to ensure that the dollar is strong. Also? And some of you will remember the time when the dollar, our dollar, the US dollar was almost at parity. Long, long time ago. Now, our dollar is in the region of between 157 and 160. Now, in past periods of time, the rate at which the dollar devalued was rapid. This period of government, this last 9.5 years, has seen the most stability in the Jamaican dollar relative to the US dollar. But the stability is even more amazing because there are no controls. We don't have any quota system, any fixed exchange rate. We have a freely floating currency. And we are able, with a freely floating currency, to have exchange rate stability greater than at any other time in the history of Jamaica, certainly for the last 50 years. So when you compare the government and its performance in managing the exchange rate, this government is the best. We get A+. Now, when you compare the management of the debt, and I don't want to go into too much details because I'm sure everybody here that when we took over, the debt was somewhere in the region of about 120%, 125% thereabout, debt to GDP. Meaning that everything that the country produced in a year, if you took everything that the country produced in a year, and you say, I'm going to pay back the debt, you would still have 25% left to repay. Yes. Now, today, we can pay off the debt and still have more than 25. Right? And still have about 32% left after we pay off the debt. Because we have reduced the debt and we are continuing to reduce the debt. No other government can boast the record that we have in terms of managing and reducing the debt. And debt management, we get A+. And the IMF says so, and the IPP says so, and the World Bank says so. All right. Now, for those youngsters who really don't have the reference point, when we took over the government in 2016, our unemployment rate was in double digit, almost 13% unemployment. Youth unemployment was over 20%, going almost 30%. Bear that in mind. So all the complaining and talking, yes, we respect it, we understand it, we listen to it, but you have to compare it to what existed under the PNP. So the very people who are criticizing the government, when you look at their record is an embarrassment, and therefore they have no credibility to talk to this state government. Today, we have the lowest unemployment rate in the history of Jamaica. We are virtually at full employment. And bear in mind that the participation rate, meaning that the percentage of the population above 14 who can work, 68% of them are working. Very high compared to other areas. So the Jamaican economy is expanding. We are set for growth. And all the fundamentals, we are doing exceptionally well. The Jamaica of today is not the Jamaica of 10 years ago. The government that you elected, the government that you supported, with your help, we have transformed Jamaica. So that is only phase one. Phase one was to build a strong economy. That is phase one. Now, I'm going to say something to you. And again, I want to put this in your head. So far, the conversation in the public domain about the economy is that we have introduced this term they call fiscal management. And the term really means how we manage the funds, the taxpayers' dollars, and the revenues that the government earns. All right? So we have managed those well, and we have created that now as an important plan of the economy of Jamaica. But this administration has introduced something that did not exist in our economy before, and that is called resilience. So I want you to remember that word. It is the Jamaica Labour Party government that has introduced resilience into the economy. Now, what is resilience? What is resilience? Resilience is the ability to take lick, drop down the ground and pick up back and ready again. You pick him up, you pick him up, you bounce right back. I want you to know that that is a Labour Party word, resilience. Because before, if Jamaica faced a hurricane, it took 2-3 years to recover. If we face any form of global recession, the last one we faced in 2008, it took us almost 10 years to recover from that. If oil price go up, Lord have mercy. Hold on. But look at what has happened to us in the last 10 years. We have COVID. That is the worst natural occurring disaster that has affected the globe in 100 years. Liquid on. And within 2 years, we bounce back stronger. We have Hurricane Beryl. Little Island, and within weeks, comes back. We have almost 3 months of consistent rain from Beryl right up to the end of November. What's up all of the roads, and we bounce back out there, fix back road. That is what we mean by resilience. So it's one thing to have good fiscal management, is another thing that when you get hit by a shock, which will happen in the world, you are strong enough to absorb, get up back, brush out yourself, and go again. And that is what your government has been. Now, if you have that, as you progress through time, you are guaranteed with peace and productivity to have prosperity. You need a long run of peace and productivity with resilience in order to see prosperity. Now, we are heading into the second phase of our plan for Jamaica. And that second phase of the plan has to treat with some of the social issues that affect us. And it has to treat with the expansion of the economy, growth. And there are some challenges we have with expanding the economy. And there are some social challenges that we have. On the social side, violence has become a feature of the Jamaican society. It is quite unfortunate because it never was. We marketed ourselves to the people of the world as Jamaica, one love. When Bob Marley spoke to the world, he spoke about peace and love and respect and equity. In the 80s, we coined the term Irishman Jamaica, no problem. But we have allowed criminals to feature in the definition of our society. This administration, your government, is committed to removing violence from any association with Jamaica. It is only a few people that hold our society hostage with violence. And those persons, we must treat with them. And we have been treating with them. Because you deserve peace. So we are moving towards peace. We are addressing the social issue of violence. There are other issues with violence. A lot of you here have intimate partner violence, man and woman violence. Some of you have domestic violence. I hate to see this thing of brother killing brother over land. Man park in front of your place, or people even partying, and you want park and you come out and fire shot and kill people. This kind of violence in our society, we have to deal with that. And so we have started, and we have an extensive program lined up in the next phase to deal with this issue of violence. Violence takes away your welfare. It adds to the depressive state that many Jamaicans are going through. They don't know what it is, but they're just angry. We have to deal with that. That is not a normal state of existence. Then we have to deal with productivity. And a part of the challenge with productivity is Jamaica has become very bureaucratic, full of red tape. Everything that you want to do takes long to get done. All kind of steps you have to go through that don't make sense. And so we're going to correct that. And we have started, because there are some simple things that we can easily change. For example, when we say that, you don't have to go out to the fitness for the car every single year. The cars that are made now are made to some very high standards. So you can have a graded system of getting your fitness done. You know how much time that is going to save you for those who actually go to the depot. So we are moving now in this election into the next phase of our development. And in the next phase of the development, we're going to deal with violence, we're going to deal with the bureaucracy, we're going to deal with education. Because we need a different workforce now. The world is changing very rapidly. And the workforce that we have to upskill and upgrade them in order that they can take over the jobs that are emerging. So, my family, my friends, we invited you here today to acknowledge you for your work, and your contribution to the Jamaica Labour Party. We invited you here to say to you, thank you for your support to the Jamaica Labour Party, and thank you for supporting us in achieving the successful first phase of our plan for Jamaica. Now, I want you to get ready for the second phase, which will see a much more prosperous, much more productive, much more peaceful, much more loving, much more caring Jamaica. I invite you here today for you to make the conscious decision, for you to influence your friends and your family members, your children. The Jamaica Labour Party is the best option for Jamaica. And I urge you to choose Jamaica. Choose the Jamaica Labour Party. God bless you and
However, I'll try Because we're going to do the vote of thanks in short order, but we want to jig a little bit. Let us see. Of the Member of Parliament of Southeast St. Mr. Franklin Obito, and of course the PM, I take great pleasure in thanking each and every one in making Conference 2025 Southeast St. Elizabeth a huge success! Surely right! Find the anthem, please. Find the anthem again. I know you're excited. I can see the excitement all around about children hugging, adults coming across. However, I know the people must be tired now. Alright? Stand at attention, please.
Equal rights and justice is our everlasting song. Unity and progress will make our nation strong. Stand up for your rights when you hear the bell. Stand up for justice, hear the freedom bell. Remember, must a man take his turn, you will. Stand up, Jamaicans, when you hear the bell.
Jah give me everything.
Somebody alright. Please make your way home safely and stay blessed. And we hand over